move on to the House of More Politics. Bill O'Reilly came out and said some things in reference to Michelle Obama's speech on Monday night that got me a little ticked off. So just bear with me. I may get a little upset. You may see a couple knife hands, but just bear with me, all right? All right, so let's get into it. Michelle Obama on Monday night delivered a passionate speech about her children, her husband, what she thought what she thought Hillary Clinton could do for the country. Hey, I would say this. I thought I was nervous about the convention on Monday night because, you know, of course, you had Bernie Sanders people. They may be still upset because they didn't win. The email scandal that came out, Deborah Wasserman Schultz stepping down. It just seemed like it was going to be something bad. And I want to say, in my opinion, up until Michelle Obama's speech, everything did seem to be a little subdued. But she came out, she did her speech, and it was a great speech. I think it was one of the best speeches that night. And, you know, reporters everywhere talking about how great it was. It was so good that even Fox News is not pounced on it to say how bad it was or anything like that. But I will say that Bill O'Reilly came out and said some things about her speech that got me a little upset. Take a look at it's just a little part. Take a look at what Michelle Obama had to say about living in the White House.
Today, I wake up every morning in a house that was built by slaves. And I watch my daughters, two beautiful, intelligent black young women, playing with their dogs on the White House lawn.
So, excuse me, she got emotional when she, said that little part about waking up every day in a house that was built by slaves. I mean, that can be emotional. Coming from, think about it. I mean, being a descendant of slaves, living in a house that's known throughout the world as the center of American power, and you having to wake up in that house that was built potentially by your ancestors. So, or really built by your ancestors. So, I mean, yes, it's a very passionate, emotional statement to make. And, I gotta commend her, President Obama, her children. I gotta commend them. I mean, they're great parents. He was a pretty good president. I mean, I'm still waiting to see his policies come fully into effect. When a president leaves office, it takes about 10 years, really, for you to see if their policies were good or bad. So President Obama, even though he did some great things in his 8 years, only time will tell if those great things in the short term better the country for the long term, and where he's going to fit in the hierarchy as far as great presidents are concerned. So, it was a good statement. But let's listen to what Bill O'Reilly had to say about that speech. And oh, yeah, somebody's knocking. I'm gonna answer that.
Tonight. Factor tip of the day. As we mentioned, Talking Points memo, Michelle Obama referenced slaves building the White House and referring to the evolution of America in a positive way. It was a positive comment. The history behind her remark is fascinating. George Washington selected the site in 1791 and is presently the cornerstone in 1792. Washington was then running the country out of Philadelphia. Slaves did participate in the construction of the White House. Records show about 400 payments made to slave masters between 795 and 1801. In addition, free blacks, whites, and immigrants also worked on the massive building. There were no illegal immigrants at that time. If you could make it here, you could stay here. In 1800, President John Adams took up residence in what was then called the Executive Mansion. It was only later on they named it the White House. But Adams was in there with Abigail, and they were still hammering nails. The construction was still going on. Slaves that worked there were well fed and had decent lodgings provided by the government. which stopped hiring slave labor in 1802. However, the feds did not forbid subcontractors from using slave labor. So Michelle Obama is essentially correct in citing slaves as builders of the White House, but there were others working as well.
I wanted to play the whole minute and a half, so that's why my speech may go, or my video may go on for about 10 minutes, because I wanted to play his whole minute and a half, 2-minute spiel on the history of the White House being built. And hey, I will tell you this, while listening to what he was saying, he is absolutely correct on everything that he said. But what pissed me off, Mr. Oreilly, is that you tried to downplay the fact that slaves built the White House. Michelle Obama didn't have time to go into a fucking spiel about immigrants and white folks and anybody else building the damn White House. She wanted to reference the fact that it was slaves that built the White House. You had people that were getting paid for other people to work there. The people that painted the walls and nailed up stuff and moved dirt were not paid. Their slave masters were paid for their labor. So don't sit there with that fucking Cheshire cat grin on your fucking face trying to tell us that, oh, yes, Michelle Obama is essentially correct because slaves indeed worked there, but other people worked there as well. Give me a fucking break, man. Come on. To top it all off, you're going to sit there and have the audacity to say they were well fed and well housed? The fuck does that mean? Oh, because they were working for the federal government, slaves were fed better and they slept better? The fuck out of here. What kind of statement is that to make? Oh, they were slaves, but they were well fed and well housed until the fucking house was built. Break, man. Come on. Think about it. I'm pretty damn sure, Mr. Oreilly, that you would not have wanted your ancestors working like that. I'm pretty damn sure, Mr. Oreilly, that if it was your 3rd, 4th, 5th generation cousin or some shit like that, you would be upset about it. And oh, by the way, if your ancestors worked on it and you happen to live there and that place became a symbol to the world, you will be proud of the fact that there were once slaves working there and you sleep there now. So quit trying to downplay the fact that even though slaves built the White House, they had help. Of course they would have help. But I will guarantee you this shit, it was mostly slaves there building it out, laying out the groundwork, cutting the grass and mowing the damn lawns over there. Well, that's the same thing, but I'm pissed off right now. Come on, man. And I know Fox News has their age bracket is about 65 plus. So congratulate, hey, so thank you guys for, hey, salute to you for living that long. And Bill O'Reilly's audience, I'm pretty sure that they're that old too. And damn near half of them remember segregation. And I would even go so far as to say maybe 1 or 2% of them was probably the slave owners that was building the damn White House or getting paid. So come on, man, that was low. That was a low blow. That was a low blow for him to go out and say, to try to dismiss what Michelle Obama was trying to say and water down what she was trying to say. Yes, she's essentially correct that slaves built the White House, but there was others there as well. Give me a break, man. Give me a fucking break. Hey, forgive me for the 4-letter words there. I apologize for that. But hey, that was wrong. Hey, I'm gonna go down here and watch the next. Today is Wednesday, so I'm gonna go down here and get up on the next day of talk at the DNC. I think I can't even get the shit out right now. The president's gonna speak tonight, so I'm pretty sure he's gonna talk about her overseas policies and how well she did as Secretary of State. And I'm pretty sure tomorrow the Republicans are going to try to trash her, and Fox News are going to try to trash her about how it turned out. They're going to have their different views. But hey, until the next video, man, peace.